When the temperature changes, it's so important for us to make sure that our heating and air conditioning units are operating at their best. And there are ways and things that we can do to make sure that that happens. And here joining us is our coastal expert from McCall's HVAC, Bryant Dunn, who is the president and building analyst with McCall's. Thanks so much for joining us again, Bryant. It's great to see you.
Well, it's great to be back on the bridge.
So, you know, all the time we talk about when the temperatures change, and right now, you know, hot weather is here, and we know what that means. Humidity is definitely back. So what do homeowners need to do to make sure that they can have comfortable, energy-efficient homes?
Well, really, the main thing is we need to eliminate waste in the system. And by the system, I mean the whole house is the system.
Because, you know, when I think about it, I always say, you know, here's my air conditioning unit, here's my heating unit. I mean, but you're talking about the system as the entire house.
That's correct. I mean, the system is 1/3 of the component. You think you're talking to an air conditioning guy, it'd be all about the air conditioning equipment. But truly, we've found that the enclosure is just as important. The duct system is critically important, as well as the properly sized and applied equipment.
So when you talk about eliminating waste from the entire house, since we are now seeing the house as the full system, when you're talking about eliminating waste, how do you do that?
First, we needed to kind of define the area that we're trying to control. People are familiar with a walk-in freezer. Imagine trying to keep your house at 32 degrees inside. That'd take a lot of energy, wouldn't it?
That would take a lot of energy.
We'd have to really seal it up. Well, that's where we're trying to go. And I'm not exaggerating. We're not going to keep it at 32 degrees, but we want to keep it comfortable and sealed up. So we've really got to define that thermal boundary, which is well defined in, say, a cooler. It's a box. That's well defined. But in our homes, we have so many penetrations and holes and things like can lights and openings to the worst place of all, which is the attic. So really defining and sealing up the enclosure itself. We need to have a well-sealed and well-designed duct system, and we need to have clean heat transfer surfaces, which is basically keeping your coils clean. So once this is done, we need to ensure proper airflow through the system and that it has a proper refrigerant charge.
Because when any one of these things is off, it really can create a lot of problems in your homes.
When one thing is off, there's a problem, but people really don't become aware until we take a combination of 2 or 3 of these things. We have to take them all into account, but when you really start to notice with degradation and energy performance and comfort and moldy wet spots, things like this are indicative of when a few of these things work together in a bad way.
So what about these homes now? A lot of people are wanting to even take it further, you know, and they're thinking in terms of smart performance homes.
That's right, high performance homes. We're seeing a lot of our customers are wanting to go there, where the basics we talked about are sealing the house, the big openings to the outside, the ductwork and the equipment. So once we get into a high performance home, it's actually doing some measurements where we define this and really sealing up the homes. You've heard of people spray foaming their homes. This is part of the high performance home movement. Our windows are mandated that they're so tight and all this stuff. But it doesn't matter if you have tight windows in a spray foam home if you still have an opening to the outside. So a lot of testing is done and diagnostics to move to a high performance home.
And this is not something that happens overnight. This is a plan of action to make sure that you are not getting waste inside the enclosure of your home.
That's right, Natalie. We know summer is here, and we know probably 15 to 20% of your viewers, myself included, could have a breakdown this summer. So some of the things we're talking about here are to make the systems better, true improvements. We're there for you at McCall's to do demand service and be there for you when your system breaks down. But we want to start evaluating some of these things in the homes and taking them to that high performance level, moving them on the path so that they can have a more durable, comfortable, energy efficient home that we lessen the amount of bugs, debris, So we improve the indoor air quality, the temperature, humidity, all of these things work together as long as we have that goal in mind.
You know, a lot of viewers watching right now, and maybe they're sitting there going, I wonder if I can make my house more energy efficient. I wonder if I'm experiencing some waste within the enclosure of my home. What would you say to them regarding what some of the things that they can do, and why they should call McCall's, and maybe what sets you apart from the rest that are out there when this type of thing comes into play?
That's a great question. I mean, what we like to do is get in there and assess the situation, do some diagnostics. If they want to call us, and I'll be happy to talk to them on what we call a whole house diagnostic. Well, we'll take some measurements and what we call a test in. We test in, we create a game plan, and then we test out. That's how we get a high performance home, because we're using building science to do measurements to get us to that goal of a well-controlled home.
So it's not just about making a quick fix. I mean, this is a plan.
Sometimes it can be.
It can be.
We don't want to discount when the machine is broken, being able to call somebody and get it working. So we are talking about, that's demand service, and so we're talking about the ability to do that, but also to make the improvements over time.
Bryant, thanks so much for joining us again and providing all the information that you do. McCall's does such a wonderful job. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
It's always great to see you.
You too.
If you'd like more information on McCall's HVAC or any of our Coastal Experts, just go to our Coastal Experts page. You'll find that at wsav.com.